Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Lemons to Lemonade. My next guest has produced events for Salesforce, Udemy, University of San Francisco, and Bloomberg, and many others. She's managed events that have had over 500,000 patrons, and she lives in Berkeley and is working on a 1,000-piece puzzle. Please welcome Paige Buck from Kennedy Events.
Hi, Daphne. Thanks for having me.
Hi, Paige. So tell us what's been happening in your world lately. Everybody's changing day by day, and we want to find out what's going on with you.
Sure. And so many people have reached out because our industry feels like it was the canary in the coal mine for all of this. But we're actually doing better than many of our friends, or as my colleague coined them, frienders, our vendors in the market. This is a very scary time for everybody, but we all just kind of arrived at this reality this week. Caterers and audiovisual companies and venues have been here for 2 weeks or more and have already had to lay off droves of people. We're in a slightly better position because we do the long-term planning. So while a couple of our current events have canceled, one that would have been last week and one that would have been in 8 weeks, we have a number of fall projects that are still underway. So we're hopeful. We're just taking it day by day.
And what are you guys doing with your team and trying to, how do you stay motivated? How do you keep going in these times?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I woke up on Monday morning and got on the phone with my business partner, Maggie, who and we cried, and we could hear the fear in each other's voices. Just coming off the weekend and back into work made it feel more real and more heavy. But she had this brilliant suggestion that our tagline is bringing it all together around the production of an event. And she said, I feel like for this week, at least, if not the foreseeable future, we need to have daily huddles with our team that can be optional, but they need to be just focused on how everybody's doing and their sanity and their personal health and well-being. And let's call it bringing us all together. And it won't be work. It'll be like, how are you? How's your dog? Have you been for a walk today? Have you gotten any sunlight? And there have been tears on those calls, but there's been a lot of ridiculous laughter. So much so that I asked one of our team members yesterday if they were drunk. I was like, are you drunk? They're like, no, but that's a really good idea. I'm like, are you high? And she's like, no, but that's also a really good idea. But we're getting through it with some laughter, but I'm not going to pretend there's not tears there too.
Awesome. We're talking today because you have a lot of strategies that you've used for working virtually. So a lot of people are struggling with transitioning a regular office into a virtual office. And I wanted to ask you some tips of what would you recommend? What should people be doing?
Well, we built our team virtually from the get-go, which always sounded really strange to people. They would accept that I was calling from my home, but then they'd be surprised that we didn't at least maintain an office in downtown San Francisco. And that stemmed from the nature of our business, because we were either so busy with individual client calls that an office would have to look like a dozen phone booths instead of individual workstations, or we were on the go, traveling to other cities or within San Francisco to meetings and venue walkthroughs and catering tastings. So anytime we try to huddle up and take a meeting, it's always a challenge anyway. So we went virtual from the get-go, and we've been using Zoom and Slack, and we've been early adopters of everything there is. Especially Google Suite, where all of our files are stored, and it's our email and our calendar program. The biggest thing for us, and it's also how we've built our team, is that we, it's so much more important now when people have kids home from school and we're all sheltering in place or maintaining social distance, is generosity with our team. To understand you have a life and you have a job, and we want to understand what the restrictions and the constraints and the parameters of your life are. If that's that you've got kid drop off every morning and you're not going to be online until 9 a.m. and you've got kid pickup at 2:30 and you're going to be offline for an hour. I don't have kids of my own, but I value and respect and I can't say enough how often we're go do that thing. Just put it on your calendar.
I think the question that people have is, how do you keep your team accountable? So you're letting them do what they need to do. So how do you know that they're doing the work that they also need to do?
Oh, that's such a good question. So that cuts both ways. I mean, on the one hand, most of our team are hourly, so they're handing in timesheets where we can see the work that they've performed. But we've also been using Asana as a project management tool for years now, and this is the nature of our business. We manage projects. We can't function without project management systems. So people are building out and checking off tasks and subtasks as they do them. They're accountable to their project managers, and their project managers in turn are accountable to us for how that project's going.
Okay, great. And how do you incorporate Slack? Like what are you doing on Slack that's helping you run your projects?
So each project gets its own Slack channel for the team discussion. And then sometimes if our clients want to be in there too, there's a separate client channel so we can communicate with them and share files that way. So Slack and Asana have an integration, and you can type /Asana, and or you can click on a message. So if somebody said, "Hey Daphne, will you do blah 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 for me?" You can, if you have the Asana integration, you can click on that thing and say, "Make this a task," and then assign it right then and there to your project, to yourself, and give it a due date. So it doesn't just go by and you miss it.
Yeah, yeah, you're immediately able to take action and document what you need to do.
Yep.
So I know that some of your conferences you have to plan 8 or 10 months in advance. How do you manage all that work? How do you plan your projects?
Well, gosh, I mean, it's one of those things I've been doing so long now that I have to think about it and break it down. So I've heard some clients or people who come out of larger agencies call it a work back document or a work back list, which is basically the concept that you start from the end result and you work backwards to think of all the tasks that have to happen. So I'm putting on a 2,000 person conference over 2 floors with 3 stages and a whole beautiful theme. You have to back up from the moment that that's happening to the keynote arrives, the stage manager arrives, the lights are turned on. I mean, we literally back up like that to think through all of the things that need to happen. But we've now been doing this so long that we have tasks built out in Asana. So I can take a set of tasks off like a virtual shelf for what an event that size would look like and plug them into an Asana project and then customize that for that individual event. So if they're doing a cocktail party, I can add in the tasks for the cocktail party. But if they're doing a press conference and we've never done anything like that before, then we only have to build out the tasks that are really new and unique to that project.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Paige, and thanks for helping entrepreneurs out. And we all have to stick together so that we can make an awesome we can make lemonade.
Can make lemonade. I am so grateful to you. I mean, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have a community of entrepreneurs like you to be in touch with at this time. It means so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.